Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, very, very good question.
Yeah, this is a very good question.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
Oh, that's a great question.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question, Zanger.
It's a great question.
It's a great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. A really good question.
Gosh, this question to me, I love-hate this question.
That's a loaded question. but okay. It might help if I just put myself on stage. I was telling everybody the other day that it's been a minute. We've been on the road a lot in June, and we have some Cannes Lions coverage. We still have a little bit more there. So our good friend David Greiner sent me over some videos. So we're going to have some of that coming up soon as well. And plus, I got a chance to spend some time with Indie Agency News member, the members service plan, HQ in Munich, and they've got people all over the world. Had a chance to talk about their Spark program. So we're working on getting that up either this week or early next week. So still a little bit more in the can, I know. And that's me teasing Pun Fight tomorrow. One of our game shows. Fridays are always for fun and games. And tomorrow is Pun Fight. Jessa Ferris, our wonderful friend and word expert, etymologist, author of Words from Hell and several other books. And she's just brilliant, fun, and awesome. From our Ad Week days, we were there together. So that is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Noon Eastern, 5 p.m. GMT. And to all of you in England, congratulations. Enjoy it while it lasts. Is it coming home? We'll find out on Sunday. Next week, we will be in Colorado as well. So we will be doing a happy hour at Cactus. Thank you so much to our members at Cactus for hosting us. Monday night, go to indieagency.news, or you can just reach out to me, Zanger, at indieagency.news. Happy to get you all the info on that. So if you're in Colorado, come see us. We're going to do a little fun and games. We'll do a couple game shows, have a little beer, have a little... I went to college in Denver in the 90s. So maybe some Zima in late 80s, early 90s. So we all know about that. Those of us Gen Xers. But then next week also, we're going to be talking Man Therapy with Joe Conrad from Cactus. This is a great program around men's mental health, which they've been doing for a very, very long time. Also scheduled, we're still waiting to confirm the new president of media for Click Health out of Toronto. They just joined as members as well. And then Meet an Indie Agency, The Variable out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Speaks. That'll be on Wednesday, another double dip. And then we're going to be talking to some of the winners from Eamon, their Globie Awards. We do have a post coming up either today or tomorrow on Worldwide Partners and their award winners, their Grand Indie winners. And then also Eamon awarded their network, their Globies as well. And then next week, at the end of the week, Liar, Liar. So a lot cooking. And we're super stoked to have, and this is me stalling for time so I can share the screen with you. I talked about Cannes, but we have our own little award that we just launched. It's the Indie Agency News Top 40, no categories, just great indie work. And what we're going to do is we're making this very, very easy. We know that you've probably done a lot of work on this already. So you may have entered some awards. We want you to copy and paste. So 3 to 6 fields to fill out. 3 of them we'd like you to fill out. Those are the categories or the fields we'd like you to fill out. And then you can do this, but then it's easy. We're trying to make this super, super easy. Again, no categories. We will score these 0 to 100, and then we will rank them from 40 to 1. And starting Monday, October 14th, we will be bringing people on live stream to announce the winners from places 40 all the way up to 4. And then the final 3, the week of October 21st, we'll be going to the markets to award the winners. So let's say that Gus, who we're going to bring Graham here in a minute. But let's say that Gus wins bronze. I'll say, all right, let's meet at Seamus O'Hallahan's in Midtown. And then we'll announce the winners there. and then we'll move on to the next market. So let's say it's Chicago. And then if it's gold in London, we go to London. So go to indieagency.news, and we appreciate your support. But first, Graham, I had mentioned we're going to bring in here in a second, but we're going to go down to Baton Rouge first. Here's the thing about indie work. This is one of the things that I love about doing all of this is, it's so funny when we have agencies check in. So Adrian, thank you for joining us, and Morgan, the client at Baton Rouge area chamber. It's like, oh, we have this thing. And I'm looking at it and I go, this is brilliant. This is great. Let's talk about it. And this really, really is. And Adrian, let's talk a little bit about Baton Rouge, because I've talked to you, I've talked to Kenny Nguyen, I've talked to several people at 368. Thank you for your membership and your support. But talk a little bit about Baton Rouge, because it's one of those cities that people might go, oh, yeah, I kind of know what's going on there. But give us a little bit of the skinny of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, so I'll start and then I'll see what Morgan wants to tack onto this. 368, is based here in Baton Rouge, and we are absolutely a community on the rise. I am not originally from here. And one of the things that I say to people is Baton Rouge would be the coolest city in any other state. But in Louisiana, we've got so much deep culture and flavor and creativity. It's just, another spot on the map for a lot of people. And so we're working with Morgan. The chamber brought us in to do a talent attraction campaign to bring more young people into the city. What we found is that people don't understand Baton Rouge's identity, that there wasn't kind of a shared collective identity. And this place is way too cool for that to be the case. And so we're excited to be working together to brand the city and think about how we attract young talent in.
I mean, let's just throw in the Cajun. I mean, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We love it.
Yeah. Morgan, are you native Baton Rouge?
Yes, I am from the Baton Rouge area, which I think made this partnership with 368 so amazing. Adrian is not from here, so the goal of the campaign is really attracting new young professional talent to the area, and then also retaining some of the college talent that may not be from here.
Right.
So they're only very familiar with their college campuses,
Right.
which have great cultures of their own, but how can we get them out of those environments and really experiencing the whole region? So to have someone like Adrian, who is not from here, and she's been able to come in and build this huge community and network of her own, that perspective has been really helpful in the campaign as well.
Yeah. And, obviously LSU is the big institution. Here's my fun fact. I got to see Sylvia Foles play when she was at LSU. And I was like, she's going to be an amazing professional in the WNBA. And sure enough, I was right.
Yeah.
I get it right.
We have powerhouse talent in this city. That's the thing. I mean, not only is LSU's culture incredible, and like Doug, you've got to come down for a game day. We would love to host you. But we've also got Southern University, which is the only HBCU system in the country.
I was just going to say,
really cool. Tons of research. We're right on the river. It's waterfront property. It's just an awesome place to be.
I promise I won't wear my Oregon Duck stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can. We'll just
nobody cares. And
bless your heart, you know.
Yeah, nobody. If I wore that in Seattle, and actually I have worn Oregon stuff in Seattle, and they said I wouldn't do that again. So I mean, if I was wearing Alabama stuff, different story.
It wouldn't even register here. Yeah.
Right. So one of the things that I noticed about this is, and I can't remember exactly what year it was, and I'm gonna bring the site up right now. I remember it was Chattanooga, and I have to go back and take a look at what year this was. But one of the things that the city of Chattanooga did was establish a visual identity in wayfinding, signage, things like that. So they had established a city typeface, font for those. And so when I saw the BTR thing, when I saw the design, there were a couple things. So number one, I thought, okay, that really works extraordinarily well for Baton Rouge, because it sets it up in a way that's modern. It feels global. I thought but it also had like a fun to it, but seriousness. That was a really, really nice choice on this one.
Thank you.
The other thing is I like the turn of phrase. You know, the little punny sort of BTR, but better. And so I love that wordplay in this. But Adrian and Morgan, let's start with the brief on this as I scroll through a little bit here.
Yeah. So I mean, Morgan, I think that's your question.
I can talk about the brief. Yeah. So at the Baton Rouge Area Chamber, we're a regional economic development organization. So in Louisiana, we have parishes. So we serve a 9-parish region. And, you know, we're all about boosting the economy. And what we have seen over the last 5 to 10 years, there's been a major shift in economic development where to get businesses to move to a region, they're much more likely to move if the talent is there. So before it was like talent followed business. These days it's businesses following talent.
Interesting.
So when we did our new 5-year strategic plan, we had a much higher focus on talent attraction and retention. So it first started there. We looked into our data and we saw the area that we had. So our regional population is overall growing, but there was one age range that was actually having net out migration, and that was young professionals, which we consider 25 to 44. So
got it. Okay. Yep.
Yes. And then we also did national and local perception studies to understand what people thought of the Baton Rouge region. Nationally, it wasn't negative or positive. It was just very neutral. You know, I
could see that. That makes all the sense, that because that's the thing. It's like, oh yeah, Baton Rouge, and then they move on.
And we did not think that was a bad thing. We were like, this is the biggest opportunity. We can really tell our story the way we want to. So the actual
sorry to interrupt, but it's like Richmond, Virginia, same deal. Richmond, Virginia is like, that's a, you know, people are like, oh yeah, it's a great city. And then they need to discover why.
Exactly. And so the brief that we put out was, how can we create a website and a complementary national marketing campaign that's targeting 25 to 44-year-olds to help increase the Baton Rouge area's young professional population?
Yeah. So, I mean, to tack onto that, it was like, okay, we have to build what I heard in the ask is create an identity and create a campaign and create an ecosystem, which includes a website that is going to be authentic to the city, because like our city has to own it, right? Like it can't feel like we're trying to market something that's not real. It just like effectively communicates how freaking cool this place is and gets people hyped and excited and curious about coming here or staying here, you know? And so I feel like that's what we delivered on. You know, one of the things, we had several different creative concepts that we went through in the beginning, and kind of like our kind of like landmark, you know, North Star was, it has to like reflect how funky and cool and vibrant the culture is. It has to be something really unique to Louisiana. Like Mississippi couldn't claim this brand. Birmingham couldn't claim this brand. Like it's very unique.
Well, David Griner will probably argue that.
No, he can go ahead. They're not that.
Go ahead. All right, please continue. Please continue.
It's so colorful. If you've spent any time in Southern Louisiana, you know it's like.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
it is colorful. It is cool. It is funky, and that's really what we wanted to deliver on. Is get that cultural flavor across in a visual identity quickly. And
And Doug, I loved what you were saying earlier about the logo, because when they presented this to us, that was exactly what we said. It was bold, it felt authentic, but it was also a little aspirational, which we think we need for local perception, to really make people proud of this and feel like they own it as well. And then also with having a very neutral perception of the region nationally, the letters serve as a frame into the city. So I loved when they talked about that. So we're not just telling, we're showing as well.
Yep. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I like the fact that there's the palette. You know, you're not just sticking with one thing. You're mixing it up a little bit, color wise.
That's one of the things that's so cool about Baton Rouge is that it's so colorful. Like White House.
It is
warm. Like it's so bright.
Absolutely is.
Yeah. And so like I have to shout out Corey on our team. He's our art director. He is incredibly talented. He is from Baton Rouge, and he said like he had the idea of taking photography from the city and pulling the colors directly from that. And
Smart.
historically, Baton Rouge means red stick. The brand has been around red. And we said, like, red is not a brand. The city is colorful and vibrant. How do we capture that? So props to Corey. It was all him on that part.
Right. And what I'll tell people is, you know, if you happen to be in New Orleans, whether it's a conference, whether it's a vacation, do yourself a favor, drive up. It's Interstate 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's fun about that drive is you're on like a bridge for a very, very, very long time, because you're going over water, but it is well worth the drive up to Baton Rouge to spend some time up there. And again, it's one of those places. It's, again, I'm going to use the Richmond analogy again. It's like if you went to Washington, D.C., get down to Richmond and check it out. It's the same thing. If you happen to be in New Orleans, take a day or two and get up to Baton Rouge to take a look at it. I want to bring Graham in because he's been listening to this, and we're going to talk about Red Nose Day here in a second. Graham, I love when and Graham is one of the co-founders at Gus in New York, and we're going to talk about Red Nose Day here in a minute. But I always love getting feedback when we have more than one agency on. How you feel? How you vibing off of this work?
I love it, y'all. I mean, I should say I'm a Texas boy originally, even though I'm calling you from New York right now, and so I've got a really soft spot for Southern Louisiana too. I mean, that was the place we went when we could when I was a kid. So New Orleans, Baton Rouge. I'm a huge college football fan too. So there's nothing like that atmosphere, and I felt that same vibe every time I was in Baton Rouge. This is one of those powerful, cool cities that deserves to have a serious thumbtack on the map. So great job, y'all.
Yeah, and Morgan, you've brought up, you know, or Adrian, I think, brought up Birmingham, and it is very interesting because you take a look at a place where, and I live in Portland, and Portland gets a lot of love in the New York Times recently, or other publications. Let me not just say the New York Times, but you know, you take a look at a place like Birmingham, they're emerging from, they're starting to get more attention, and so the transitive property of this is get more attention. Maybe it's not quite as affordable as it used to be. Maybe it's not quite as affordable to start a business there. I will say, but just in Louisiana in general, it is a much more affordable place to live, and also very much an affordable place to build a business. And the beauty of technology and the way that the world works right now is you can find yourself in a place like Baton Rouge and be global.
For sure. Absolutely. I think that we have benefited as a city from the trend to remote work. You know, when we were doing the preliminary research 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, if you asked people who were considering moving or had recently moved, why, they would cite a job or they would cite education. Those were the reasons people moved in the past. Post-pandemic, the number one and number two reasons people move are for quality of life and a sense of community. And so it's just, that is such an opportunity for places like Baton Rouge, that is what we have to offer. It is a different pace of life and quality of life and culture that I think a lot of people are seeking.
And I'm sticking on the food thing. And Graham, I want you to chip in on this.
Oh, anytime.
Oh my God. Food in Louisiana. We all know New Orleans, but again, Baton Rouge, so good.
We have a burgeoning food scene that is producing so much.
It's not gonna be burgeoning. It's awesome. I get what you're saying, but the food there is phenomenal.
We have had well-established, great Louisiana style food for a long time, and I think Morgan can attest to that. But like, I just got a notification that there's a new Korean corn dog stand popping up. You know?
I just saw that too, Adrian.
Oh,
so cool.
Done. Absolutely done. Oh my God, this is so. Oh my God, this is so great. Yeah. Well, and when did this launch?
We launched April 25th.
So give us a little steer on. I mean, divulge what you want to divulge, but numbers wise, what have you seen on this so far in terms of activity?
Yeah,
you want to go first, Adrian? I can go. So we first focused more locally to make sure that it was really bought in here. We've seen really good numbers from our local audience, and we're trying to be as intentional, impactful as we can where we're targeting to get the most bang for our buck, honestly.
Yeah.
So in the original research that 368 did, we of course saw that it's best to target in the Southeast region. People are more likely to move from a region they're already living in. Just for cultural reasons, they're used to the heat. I love the heat. Some people hate it, but people are just much more likely to move there. So we've identified a few target cities. We just got our first report, so we're still kind of diving through all the data and seeing if we want to continue in those cities and how we expand.
Yeah. One of the things we've toyed around with a lot, Doug, is boomerangs. You know, it's like when people who are from here, and Grandma, like I heard it in your voice, you get some nostalgia when people see like, oh yeah, I love parades. Oh yeah, God, I love crawfish boils. When you see kind of the like tastes of that culture coming back, it inspires people to want to get out of the hustle and the grind and, you know, kind of the gray, drab urban areas that so many people are in right now that maybe are lacking in identity. And there's might be a lot of cultural amenities, but there's not that sense of community and culture that they're looking for. And so that's what we're hoping this campaign is going to spark.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. And I will say that the boomerang approach is very sharp and smart. And I've seen this anecdotally here where, and this is specific to the University of Oregon and the J School and the advertising program there, where students who may have gone to school in Eugene or grew up in Oregon said, well, I'm gonna go. I said, yeah, cool. Go to New York, go to San Francisco, go to London, go do your thing. And there's a good chunk of them that I said, chances are you're going to come back. And sure enough, and again, this is anecdotal. I have no hard data. But, you know, you start seeing more people coming back and they said, yep, I'm glad I did it, but I'm glad I'm back. So, so that'll
when we look at our numbers, that 25 to 44-year-old young professional age range, when we actually drill that down, we're only losing in the 25 to 35 age range, and we're gaining again in the 35 to 44. And
interesting.
We're assuming it's a lot of boomerangs that come back.
Oh, that's really cool. That's great. Well, Adrian, Morgan, thank you so much for joining us. Graham, thanks for chipping in on this. We're going to talk about Red Nose Day here. Go Tigers.
Thanks, Doug.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yes.
It happens to the best of us.
I can't follow that. Adrian, thanks again for your support of Indie Agency News as a member, and
thanks,
much
Doug.
more to come. Thanks again. This is fantastic.
Bye.
All right. Graham.
Howdy.
Here we are, buddy. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, good to be back.
I love talking about, I don't like the Dallas Stars hat because I'm a native Minnesotan, and the Stars left Minnesota, the North Stars left Minnesota in 1993. But that's a discussion for another time. I'm going to let that slide. But what I want to talk about today is Red Nose Day. I'm going to start with the out of home, just to put it in as a placeholder. But what I'd love for you to do is give us the background. I can't remember exactly how long you've been working with the organization and on this event. Give me a little bit more of a history and a thumbnail of that.
Sure. Well, I'll say it was a quick one. I think we started working with them in February or March of this year, and it was a really, really exciting challenge. Essentially, Red Nose Day is institutional in other parts of the world, especially if there's anyone from the UK listening. I mean, you will have seen the Ali G's and Beckhams of the world playing around with Red Nose Day for decades. And they've had a presence here in the U.S., but it was largely tied to partnerships with CVS or
Walgreens.
NBC.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, Walgreens, exactly. So, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but anytime there's partnerships, the partners are as concerned that your narrative is fitting into theirs as vice versa. So, the awareness of Red Nose Day and what they stand for and what they do and their vibe was fairly low, even though people may have seen in the US red noses on news anchors' noses or in a bowl next to the register in a pharmacy. So
Right.
That was essentially the challenge, is how do we crystallize this big vision for Red Nose Day here in the US in the future,
Right.
and also find a breakthrough way of putting that into action by May of this year when Red Nose Day was set to happen.
Yeah, let me play this TV spot and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Introducing the Red Nose Day Childhood Dream Stakes, where every donation to help end childhood poverty enters you to win a real-life childhood dream experience. Win a cotton candy castle, crush a car in a monster truck, or eat a life-sized cookie of yourself. Red Nose Day believes that less childhood poverty means more childhood, and more childhood means more childhood dreams. Donate now for a chance to win.
When we say cotton candy castle, not only delightfully alliterative, but how big? Like bouncy castle size?
I would say it is a work in progress as we speak. It's being fabricated here by some fabricators.
You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding.
No. It's all real. We are in the process now.
I get it, but like, wow.
Yeah, we're driving down to Maryland this weekend to deliver a life-size cookie to a lovely man named Scott who won the eat a life-size cookie of yourself. So it's all happening, Doug.
Oh my God. And here's a little sizzle reel because this contextualizes it a little bit. Let's take a look at this.
On behalf of my friends at Red Nose Day, they're dreaming of a world with less childhood poverty and more childhood.
Would you rather have a life-size cookie of yourself or a castle of cotton candy?
Castle of cotton candy. Cotton candy.
A life-size cookie.
Let me pull up the URL. So what are the six? Okay, so what are the six? And as a reminder, this is part of Comic Relief.
That's right. The six are befriend a penguin.
Okay, I'm just gonna shut up. Please continue.
Erupt a giant science fair volcano.
Right.
Live in a cotton candy castle. Eat a life-size cookie of yourself. See your face on a huge balloon and fly it over your work or school or or town, and crush a car in a monster truck with your name on the side of it.
Which you're from Texas? You probably like the monster truck thing.
Oh, I love the monster truck thing. We actually have found spoiler. Maybe this is a spoiler. A breaking news here on Indie Agency News Only. We found that are you familiar with Gravedigger?
Oh my God!
From your childhood? Yeah. So me too, a huge Gravedigger fan. We've found that the original driver and crew for Gravedigger have opened an amusement park near the Outer Banks in North Carolina, where you can drive a Gravedigger around, crush cars, and there's also like a Gravedigger museum there. And so that's where we'll be sending our lucky winner to experience all the glory of their own Gravedigger. A true childhood dream of mine, like for sure.
I'm very much trying to process that. That is all kinds of awesome.
Very fun.
Let's talk about the strategy and how you even came up with these ideas. Let's start with strategy. Talk about how and the brief and the strategy. Start with the brief and then move us into strategy.
Sure. Well, I touched on the brief, and it was Red Nose Day needs to stand for something in the U.S. What is our big mission going forward? But as a charity that is founded by and rooted in comedy and fun and irreverence, it can't just be do-goodery. and that's a challenge and an opportunity. And it led us to a brand platform that was sort of the first order of business that you heard throughout the materials you just showed, called Less Childhood Poverty, More Childhood.
Right.
And that's our way of saying that if we can break the cycle of childhood poverty, then we can give children and adults alike a life with less stress and more carefreeness and fun and silliness and stupidity that is the glory of childhood.
Yep.
And it brings to life that like tone and spirit that they've always had globally of being this sort of, comedic, fun-rooted cause that gives you permission to break the rules in the name of something good.
Let's. So there were six experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What were some that landed on the cutting room floor? As we old
hundreds.
Say.
Yeah,
what were some that stood out that you like? I wish we could completely do this, but there's absolutely no way we can do this.
Okay. There's a whole category of the unfeasible category.
The unfeasible. Yeah.
I put to work my own 4-year-old son on this to really tap into that childhood mind. And his big idea was brush a shark's teeth, which for all kinds of legal reasons we couldn't put into action. Spencer, my co-founder partner here, had the big idea of a fart guitar, a guitar that would play different farts depending on the chord structure. And he went as far as volunteering to build the electronic MIDI contraption that would attach to a guitar to make it happen, but we couldn't make it happen in time.
Oh, okay. That's two. There's got to be a few more. Yeah.
Dude, there's thousands. Okay, let me think. Go camping with Sasquatch was one.
Well, that would be Oregon. So you'd come out here.
That's Oregon. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're everywhere. Obviously, we know that.
Of course.
But
all right.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many, man. There are hundreds. Things in space, things under the sea. The kinds of like childhood spaces that you would dream.
So wait, your 4-year-old came up with brushing a shark's teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Which,
of course, as any good creative process, evolved into brush a fish's teeth, brush a penguin's teeth. Penguin don't have teeth. Maybe you could just hang out with a penguin for a day and become really good friends with one. So he gets at least a slash credit on the befriend.
Give him a producer credit. That's what he do. You know what? He's a pain in the ass. Give him a producer credit and tell him to go away.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what's next in all of this? What is the big next for this campaign?
Yeah.
And for Comic Relief and for Red Nose Day?
Yeah, well, maybe even before the big next, we're in the middle of it right now.
Right.
One of the kind of fun and challenging things about this is we needed to crack that big brand platform, but in the same breath, turn it into something that would really drive action and donations for this year's Red Nose Day. So we're in the midst of that. Donations are flowing. The prizes have been awarded to people, and now we're in the process of making cotton candy castles, securing a penguin, finding a hot air balloon,
securing
in Albuquerque.
When
I think we've secured a penguin.
Where is this penguin?
Of all the places, Wichita, Kansas.
That tracks. Yeah.
The Antarctica.
That's the Antarctic of Kansas. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're testing what should erupt out of this volcano right now, and I think we found the right substance, the right kind of substrate to be the lava, but in a safe way.
Okay, you're not going to tell me what that. I don't want to hear what that is. No, don't reveal that. Let's go back to the cotton candy castle. On a scale of this water bottle to our Honda Accord, where do you believe this? How big will this be? or the shed in the backyard. Is it like shed in the backyard size?
It's close to shed in the backyard if you were using cotton candy instead of wooden nails. You know, and with the added restriction of, you know, we're a nonprofit with Red Nose Day, you know, so you can throw the all the weight of General Motors behind a car and make something, you know, but we're working favors. We've got a ton of partners who are excited to, you know, be a part of this initiative at cost.
Right.
But anytime
absolutely.
we work with a nonprofit, it's another consideration, at least, of it's not your traditional production.
and you so Cotton Candy Castle, and you invoked Brooklyn, and I thought, oh yeah, okay.
Cheap.
That ain't happening in Jersey. I can tell you that. Yeah, if this were, it would be a castle that was made out of Zappoles. the Italian fried dough that you get at every carnival. Yeah, it's a gabagool castle.
That'll be the next iteration of the childhood dream stakes. Is we did have a lot of
presents the gabagool castle.
Exactly.
Oh my god, she might be up for that. She's hilarious. Oh my god, so good. All right, cool. This is great, man. And a reminder to everybody: if you are in New York, so Gus is a storefront, and
that's right.
I love your office.
I'm in it right now.
Yeah, and I just one day I just showed up and they were like, "Holy shit, what are you doing here?" But that's the thing about being storefront. So it's you and Flower Shop are in the same. Is it on Rivington?
Yeah, we're on Rivington and Clinton Street. We're in an old tattoo parlor that used to be Rivington Tattoos, if anyone remembers.
Oh my god. Well, that's that part of town. You get the old timers in New York that wax nostalgic. It's like, oh, it's New York. It's not the way New York used to be. I swear, it had a grittiness to it. I went to Rivington Tattoo. See that misspelled tattoo? That's where I got it. See where it says moher? Is that supposed to say mother? Yeah. No, but I love the space, and I love hearing. I love watching you guys grow. It's been really fun, and to see you grab something so important like this and move things forward. So, listen, man. Always wish you the best of luck, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to have you hang out backstage for a second, but love that we went through this, and good luck the rest of the way, man.
Thanks so much, Doug. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Hang on backstage for me. All right, everybody. We wrapping up today. Good English, Doug. We are wrapping up today. I got to practice this more. This is what happens when you go away for a while. Tomorrow, pun fight. Jesse Ferris. And then again, Monday, we're going to be in Denver. So swing by Cactus. Go to indieagency.news. Reach out to me, Zanger, at indieagency.news, and I can give you more information on that. A reminder about this whole schmear. The brief for Indie Agency News: build a global home for independent agencies. The mission: serve independent agencies and the brilliant people behind them. And our goal is more visibility for indies, more choice for marketers. To learn more, go to indieagency.news/join. You'll see all of the benefits of membership and how you can continue to raise your visibility. And I have to say, we're at 109 members. We're going to be announcing some new members here shortly. That's code for I'm behind on getting people up on the site. But we're really thrilled and really proud of what we're building here, and we'd love for you to join us. On behalf of everybody at Indie Agency News, I'm Doug Zanger. We will see you tomorrow for a little fun.